Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, I'm sure this topic of today's live is not what you would think about on a Monday, us talking about paying rent. But I posted a quote from JJ Watt. Ironically, JJ Watt's Houston Texans forgot they had a game yesterday. I'm not a Texans fan, but I am a JJ Watt fan. But anyway, the quote goes that success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day. So I just wanted to bring that quote to life a little bit and relate that to things that you and I probably could relate to, because we're not NFL athletes, of course, unless therefore you are an NFL athlete and you are resonating with the fact that that's your real life. But most of us are not. We're parents, we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we're marketers, we're family members, we're parents, we're children, brothers, sisters, etc. And in life, we're trying to do whatever it is we're trying to do. You know, there are so many different things and walks of life we can do in terms of our own goals. But I think about this idea of success, and it's really not the destination. You know, for years and years, when we set a goal, for instance, a weight loss goal, or for a business goal, or a finance goal, it's really not the goal it's not the day that we get to the goal that really matters. It's really what happens in the process of getting to the goal. You know, I remember graduating from college, and I don't know if you're like me, but when I went to college, I didn't go through the straight 4-year path. I went through a couple of years, and I took a few years off to go find myself. By the way, go find yourself means you were screwing around. Doing stuff you shouldn't have been doing. In my case, I started a business, but in my mind, I went to college for a couple of years, and then for some odd reason thought I was too smart for college. Or that college didn't matter. Went off and started a business. Now, it wasn't the end of the world, but I didn't go through. So I went to college, got my degree on the 8-year plan. So it was 2 years in, a couple, 3 years off, and then part-time after you come back to school. It's a little tougher when you're a little older going back to school. But anyway, the funny thing though is on the day that I graduated, that was an overwhelming day. And so that was quote unquote the culmination of the goal, right? That was the day that I got to walk across stage. I got to get my degree in finance. And as I think about that, it wasn't that day that I was so overwhelmed by. It was what I actually had to go through to get to that day. And so it was the starting of school at 18, and then it was going to school for a couple of years. It was trying to find my path. I started as an engineering major, and then I was caught up in the world of business. And so I was dealing with the wrestling of dealing with engineering as a study, but having gotten an early start in business at 18, 19 years old, first of all in the restaurant industry, working for a company called Taco Bell, which you probably have eaten at, and I became an assistant manager, then a general manager at age 20. And so that was partly one reason why I left college. But then the second side was getting bit by the entrepreneurial bug. And so this idea of success, when I finally graduated in 96, it wasn't just that day that I was so overwhelmed by going across the stage and getting a little piece of paper. I still have that piece of paper, by the way. I'm not sure if you guys went to college and have yours, but I got mine in my office, and it's not that big a deal. It's like it's a little piece of paper and all that. It's really what was done in the process daily to get to that day, right? And so I think about when I was in the process of losing 35 or 40 pounds, when I was 215 pounds down to get down to about 170. Now I'm about 177, so a little heavier than I was at the lowest point. But it wasn't really the day that I got on the scale and I was 170 pounds. It wasn't just that day. So today's message is really about paying attention to the journey, paying attention to the daily wins, the daily disciplines, those little small things that actually get you to the place of success. And I think when I look at this quote from JJ Watt today, is that rent is due every single day, which means whatever it is you're working on, you've got to be willing to do the small things every single day. You got to do the reps every single day. I'm obviously in workout gear, and I'm about to get a workout in before I head to the office. So this idea that success isn't owned, but it's leased and rent is due every day, that rent in your life, it could be studying, it could be reading, it could be, doing marketing, which is what we do in our full-time world. Whatever that rent looks like in your business, whatever those repetitions are, that's where the success lies. It's in the daily doing. So JJ Watt's Houston Texans got smoked yesterday. So it isn't that they didn't win. They certainly didn't win that game, but the point of success is really the journey to get to a place. They did make the playoffs. They were in last place last year. So the success was in going from last place to first place this season. Now, mind you, again, I'm not a Houston Texans fan. That's not the point. The point is in life, we have to have things where we turn things around. And in order to go from last place, which is where they were last year, to first place in their division this year, they had to show up every day with a new mindset, with a new game plan, with a new set of disciplines. And as he said, they had to pay rent every single day. They didn't win the ultimate prize. And in many times in our lives, we don't win what we think is the ultimate prize. But we have to be mindful of what it takes daily. And as he says, paying that rent daily. Right now, I'm about to pay some rent on my health and wellness, because if I'm going to be healthy the rest of my life, which is the commitment to myself, it means I've got to pay rent. Now, do I work out 7 days a week? No, I don't. I shoot for an average of 4 times a week, and there'll be times when I might miss a week or I might, whatever the case may be, because that's just the way life goes. But you've got to be mindful of paying rent daily. I don't know what rent is like in your world. I'm not talking about money, cash for your roof over your head. Of course, got to pay that every month, whatever it is, your mortgage or your rent. But I'm talking about the rent due to accomplish those things in life that you want to accomplish. I'm running a business. There are things in life. Last year, as a matter of fact, I would be, safe to say that we weren't paying rent daily in an aspect of our business, and we got caught off guard last year. There was an aspect of what was going on in our business, and we weren't paying rent daily and got caught off guard, and it rocked our business, right? It doesn't matter what we do in our life. We pay rent daily in our relationships. We pay rent daily in our friendships. We pay rent daily at our job. We pay rent daily in the gym. We pay rent daily. And if we don't, there are some adverse consequences, right? And of course, those adverse consequences will sometimes be the wake-up call that we need. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that quote to life that I posted. If you didn't see the quote, go ahead and jump. Of course, if you're watching this, January 7th today is about 8:15, 8:30 or something like that. But anyway, if you haven't seen the quote, check out the quote. But again, the quote basically said, success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day. And it was by J.J. Watt, defensive end for the Houston Texans. I'm a massive football fan. And though he got his behind kicked yesterday along with his teammates, the quote is still relevant. Now, he'll get some time off to heal his wounds, and they'll start paying rent. As a matter of fact, in the NFL, and if you're an athlete, he's going to be paying rent within a few weeks. I'm sure he's going to take a couple of weeks off and the rest of his teammates, but they'll be back to paying rent because they came up short this year, as do many teams. I'm a Rams fan. We get to play the Dallas Cowboys next week, and we had to pay rent for 12 or 13 years to get back to the playoffs. And so really excited. Who's that watching? Mike Rodriguez, my buddy. Happy New Year to you, my friend. We got to get together for breakfast or lunch coming up soon. Happy New Year. But anyway, I'm going to jump off. Got to get this workout in. Hope this finds you well. Pay some rent today. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow.